Welcome back to Big Mouth and welcome to the Big Mouth Daily Live. Remember, you can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. And your main headline today is that Regina King to direct new Superman film, ? Watch Oscar winner, learn of rumor live on MSNBC. Ronnie Dodge, morning, Mr. Legend. Morning, Ronnie Dodge. I'm glad to have you on the live stream. Welcome to the Big Mouth Daily Live. So during an MSNBC interview on Saturday, Regina King learned live on air that she's perhaps being considered to direct an upcoming Superman film for Warner Brothers and DC. Bobcat, hey Ronnie Dodge. Hey Bobcat, don't I get a, oh I do get a hello. Hey Mickey, Bobcat, hey Bobcat. It was Tiffany Cross of the Cross Connection that first made King aware of the rumor. I'm curious because this is a little bit of gossip. You're rumored to be on the shortlist to direct Superman. You and Barry Jenkins, both of your names have been thrown out there. The MSNBC host said, anything you want to tell us? Is there any news you can break this morning about those conversations? Tiffany, that is news to me. You have broke the news to me, laughed King. A news break live on MSNBC. Yeah, no, I have not heard that until just now. She continued, appearing a bit gobsmacked. At this point, any discussion of King's involvement with Superman is purely speculative. According to The Hollywood Reporter and other outlets, she is one of the number of high-profile directors being considered for the recently announced superhero project, which is being written by Ta-Nehisi Coates with J.J. Abrams and Hannah Minghella serving as producers. Others who have reportedly been discussed as directors for the project include Jenkins, Ryan Coogler, Stephen Cable Jr., J.D. Dillard, and Shaka King, per THR. Warner Brothers and DC are committed to hiring a black director for the project, given that it will be the first to ever center on a black Superman. Superman rumors involving King come on the heels of the announcement that she will be directing an adaptation of the Image Comics series Bitter Root for Legendary. Last year, the actress made her feature directorial debut with One Night in Miami, an adaptation of the acclaimed play by Kemp Powers, which went on to claim 3 Oscar nominations, including Best Supporting Actor, Adapted Screenplay, and Original Song. Check out King's entire conversation with Cross below. No, thank you. So, very interesting. Let's discuss this. Ronnie Dodge, are you recovering from your jab, aka Bobcat? Bobcat, overtime at work again. Bobcat, that and storyboarding. Bobcat, yeah, I'm at Ronnie Dodge. Thanks for asking. Ronnie Dodge, that's good, mate. Ronnie Dodge, I think Regina King would make a great Superman movie. Bobcat, could be a good film. So, Regina King, no question, because I remember watching her on Southlands, which was a procedural cop drama, and also starring Ben McKenzie, by the way, from Gotham and OC fame. She's a very good actor. I haven't seen her directorial debut. My one concern about Regina would be her lack of experience with VFX. You know, this would be a VFX-heavy movie. And it's kind of what we saw with Kathy Yan and Birds of Prey. Kathy wasn't proficient enough with action that they had to bring in the John Wick director, which is very, very messy. You know, if you bring someone in who has to be able to direct action, they should be proficient enough to direct great, you know, high-octane action, and she wasn't. They're the facts. Now, maybe Regina would be good in a VFX-heavy movie. I don't know what she's capable of, but I doubt she's going to get this role, this director's gig. I think it will probably be a black male, if I'm being honest. But yeah, she's definitely on the shortlist, that's for sure. But at the end of the day, if women can only direct women, right? And obviously, if we had a black Supergirl, she would probably get the gig. Now, so on those rules, right, a black man should direct a black Superman. Now, personally, I don't give a shit of the identification or ethnicity of the person who directs Superman, but this is the premise and roles that these people work on. So at the end of the day, it's an interesting little article there. I thought I'd read it to you. I don't think she will get this gig, and I think a black male director will definitely get this gig. Bobcat, hey Mickey, I know this isn't a live chat and we should stay on topic, but do girls like the whole writing a song for them thing because I play the guitar and have been told I can sing. So, I mean, I don't know. It depends on the girl, doesn't it? I would think some girls would appreciate that and think it's sweet, and some girls may think it's a bit corny. You just don't know. Give it a try, though. Give it a try. You never know. If she doesn't like it, she doesn't like it, you know. Sod her, right? So my advice is go for it. Go with your gut. Right, so that's Regina King, rumoured to be directing or on the shortlist for directing the Black Superman movie produced by J.J. Abrams and written by Ta-Nehisi Coates. Ta-Nehisi is actually writing and developing that script and screenplay as we speak. He spoke earlier this week as well and said he didn't want to dish the dirt on the film. He wants people to have, this, real experience without him infecting how we feel about the film. And I like the idea that he doesn't talk too much about the movie. So it's an intriguing project. And I think this Black Superman plays a big role in this new multiverse Justice League that I'm kind of theorizing they're going to go with. Bobcat, the next song goes out to all the air bubbles in Aquaman. That'll be an interesting song, but I don't think the young lady will probably appreciate that. Anyway, we move on. Right. Arrowverse repeats Superman's biggest power, struggle from Smallville and MOS. Superman and Lois repeated one of teenager Clark's biggest struggles from Smallville and Man of Steel by having Jordan develop super hearing by Nicholas Raymond. Similar to what Clark Kent went through in both Man of Steel and Smallville, learning super hearing was a difficult challenge for Jordan, Kent, Alex Harfin. In Superman and Lois, though, not one of the abilities Superman is famous for, it is one for the most useful tools in his arsenal. Ronnie Dodge, I think we need a director who knows how to use VFX for a Superman movie. Definitely, Ronnie. You can't mess about with this. Similar to what Clark Kent went through in both Man of Steel and Smallville, learning super hearing was a difficult challenge for Jordan Kent. Alex Harfin in Superman and Lois, though not one of the abilities Superman is famous for, it is one of the most useful tools in his arsenal, and I've already read that. The latest series in the Arrowverse takes place at a different time in Clark Kent's life than most Superman movies and shows, but it has so far told a number of stories familiar to those who have watched Man of Steel and Smallville and more. I do feel they are echoing Smallville a lot in this series. It's a new kind of Superman journey since the focus is on a married Clark and Lois who are in the process of raising a pair of teenage boys in his hometown. But the problems faced by Jordan, who seems to have inherited at least a small fraction of his dad's Kryptonian abilities, mirror some of the challenges that the past versions of Superman have been forced to endure, particularly in the early years. Bobcat, SNL needs to make a skit on their bubbles, on the air bubbles. A common challenge experienced by many iterations of Superman involves his super hearing, and now Jordan has had to deal with this as well. After this ability was triggered for the first time, Jordan couldn't figure out how to turn it off. He was hearing all types of sounds from miles and miles away, which each of them being amplified to the extreme by his enhanced eardrums. For this reason, Jordan was holed up in the house for a while with headphones to shut out all the noise. It wasn't until he focused on a singular sound, Sarah's voice at the high school, that he was able to control it and go back to living his life. Hang on a minute. If you've got fucking super hearing, how are earphones going to fucking stop it? That's just nuts. Bobcat, I don't think SNL realizes how many quality skits they could make off of DC. Similar to how it affected Jordan, Smallville's Clark spent an episode learning how to master it in Season 3's Whisper. This power kicked in to compensate for Clark's sight at a time when he was temporarily blind. It first hit him at school. Now, I must say, the way Smallville dealt with super hearing and all the developing powers of Clark Kent in the show was so much better than anything Arrowverse has done. And as much as I love Superman and Lois, I include that iteration as well. What happens is there's a robbery and Clark gets blinded by kryptonite because there's a kryptonite kind of piece of jewelry and it comes because he tries to do some heat vision to stop or something or whatever happened. And then the kryptonite blinds him, but then he gets his super hearing. So he has to come to terms with being blind and at the same time having this newfound ability of super hearing. It was a really, really great episode, sensational. and much better than what they did on Superman and Lois. With all the sounds in the hallway overwhelming him at once to get past it, John Snyder told him to focus on the sound of him whispering, amid several other loud noises. It took some practice, but in time he was able to shut out unwanted noises at will and concentrate on just what he wanted to hear. In Man of Steel, a much younger Clark started developing several of his powers all at once, including his heat vision and X-ray vision. But the worst of them was the super hearing. He locked himself up in a room until his mother spoke to him from outside the door and convinced him to focus on her voice. Batman the musical would be a great SNL skit. We did have a Superman musical, a stage play, back in the 70s, I think. Ronnie Dodge, I think Snyder was trying to make Atlanteans into bloody dolphins. That's why they need air bubbles. Well, what Snyder was doing, as I tried to explain before, Snyder's about reality. So physically, you would need the air bubbles to be able to talk in reality, right? But obviously, one did it in another way, but they just, over time, had this ability to talk and without needing the air bubbles. So it was an interesting concept, but it takes you out of it, really. But I can see what Zack was attempting to do. Bobcat, dude, Aquaman making dolphin sounds. It's traditionally a major issue for young Superman. It's easy to see why then, considering the impressive range of the power, there are thousands of sounds that Clark's mind must process at once. So, controlling it can't be easy, but it would seem that mastering it comes with numerous advantages. In Smallville, it was an ability that Clark put to use quite often. As for Jordan, on the other hand, it remains to be seen exactly how he'll utilize it in Superman and Lois. It'll be interesting if he ever uses it again. So that's that one. And we go back to this one because Screen Rant have written about it. So I'm interested in reading it because we don't really have any news today apart from the Regina King rumor. There's not much going on. Bobcat, also, I just reworked the script a bit, so there's a twist villain and one of the main characters is really dead the entire time. Interesting. The Walking Dead. Christian Bale could have returned as Batman with the DCEU's alternate plan. Had the Dark Knight trilogy been the foundation for the DCEU, which it should have been, Christian Bale could have come back as Batman in later films, such as The Flash, by Kevin Ridman of Screen Rant. Thanks to Zack Snyder's recent comments that Man of Steel was almost connected to Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight trilogy, the assumption could have been made that Christian Bale would have made a return as Batman had the DCEU followed a similar trajectory. While Man of Steel ended up being its own entity that kicked off the connected universe of DC films with Ben Affleck as Batman, it's possible that Christian Bale's Dark Knight could have made a return, albeit in a more of a support role. Seeing as how The Dark Knight Rises ended with Joseph Gordon-Levitt's John Robin Blake taking on the Batmantle. Recently, Zack Snyder has confirmed that there were early considerations during the production about connecting his 2013 Man of Steel film to Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy. Though those ideas never came to fruition, this was most likely due to the Dark Knight trilogy's tone being much more grounded than more fantastical elements. What are you talking about? Snyder's Snyderverse is so grounded, such as aliens and superpowers. However, it's hard not to wonder what could have been, especially considering certain DC films currently in production that will feature Batman, such as 2022's The Flash, starring Ezra Miller in a titular role. Ronnie Dodge, I saw a post on the DC Syndicate on Instagram about Zack talking about why the Batman and Deathstroke was never made, and it should be filming. To me, that was a dig at Matt. No, definitely not a dig at Matt. He's been congratulated and supported by Matt for releasing the Snyder Cut, and Zack himself has said he's looking forward to the Batman. But yeah, that was part of his universe. That film was going to happen. It's disappointing. It was part of the takedown of the Snyderverse that Ben Affleck's The Batman didn't happen. So I think Zack's as frustrated as the rest of us because the script and the storyline for Ben Affleck's The Batman was very, very compelling and interesting to me. And I think we're all frustrated that we're not going to see it. And I think that's what Zack means. Kurt, Manchester United fan, Australia glazes out. Yo, brother, I did told you Chelsea won Champions League. You did tell me. 5 minutes in the job, and he's won the bloody Champions League. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants us to rip Van Winkle 100-year process. Bobcat, this is going to be risky for me, but let Harley live. Don't restore the Snyderverse. Don't restore the universe. Well, she's still alive. She was alive in the last movie, Birds of Prey. She's dead in an alternate timeline that was going to be reworked, so she would have been alive again once they defeated Darkseid. So Bobcat, it would have been irrelevant, even if she's not actually dead. I have to get that into your head. She's not actually dead, and by the time Snyder's work was over, his 3 movies would have been over, she wouldn't actually be dead. Because Darkseid would have been defeated, the Nightmare Future wouldn't have happened. So she wouldn't be dead. While Gordon Levitt's Dark Knight would have most likely been the primary Batman going forward in this theatrical version of the DCEU, continuation of his narrative could have also seen Bale return in a retired mental capacity, not unlike the version of Bruce Wayne seen in the animated Batman Beyond series. However, it's also possible that Bale's Batman could have taken the place of either Michael Keaton or Ben Affleck, who will both play their respective versions of the Caped Crusader in The Flash, reportedly serving as mentors to Barry Allen as he runs through the multiverse. Bobcat, well, we don't know if she died in the Nightmare Future or not. I think she died in the Nightmare Future. I think that's when she died. Because at the end of the day, I mean, even if they restored the Snyderverse, it would be an alternate kind of Elseworld thing anyway, so it wouldn't kind of appeal to that, and it wouldn't be in the same timeline. It wouldn't be an Elseworld. So the kind of central universe would have nothing to do with the Snyderverse. That being said, it's possible that the Dark Knight trilogy's more grounded tone and nature would have tempered more of the DCEU's wilder elements. Of course not, because the DCEU under Snyder was already grounded. What are you talking about? Across the board. While Barry Allen and the other heroes in the Justice League could have still been introduced, perhaps elements such as the Flash's ability to time travel and jump to other realities would have been diminished or perhaps not have been depicted at all. You're talking utter nonsense. Even so, Christian Bale could have still been featured as Bruce Wayne had he been the primary version in the DCEU as opposed to Ben Affleck. And Gordon Levitt's journey as the new Dark Knight could have been featured as well. While potentially seeing more of Christian Bale's Batman would have certainly been interesting, it's probably for the best that Snyder's Man of Steel and the following DCEU didn't connect with the Dark Knight. Why have you done the fucking article for, if that's what you think? However, nothing says that Bale or Gordon Levitt's Batman couldn't be briefly seen in a cameo roles in The Flash as Barry travels the multiverse in his upcoming film. After all, Barry will reportedly be spending some time with Michael Keaton's Bruce Wayne in director Tim Burton's world of Batman films. So why not a quick trip to the Nolanverse as well? I think it's actually very possible that this could be a thing. I really do. I think there could be a possibility of Christian Bale's Bruce Wayne and Batman being in Flashpoint. I mean, after all, Christian, if you're willing to be in a fucking MCU film, the least you can do is cameo in a DCEU film. Ronnie Dodge, I followed Daniel Richmond in his Patreon. He's quite good at Scoop, as he said that Keaton wants to stay as Batman beyond Flash. Ronnie Dodge, Scoops. Yeah, I mean, Daniel Richmond to me is interesting. Sometimes he gets it absolutely wrong. Sometimes he's right. And how can I trust someone who wants to charge people so I can watch him give me scoops? Nah. Don't trust him. Don't trust him. And plus, he was one of those movie theatre Nazis and it went against Warner Media when they did their day and date schedule. So there's something about him I really don't like. He's one of those. But yes, it's pretty obvious that Michael Keaton is remaining. Even Grace Randolph told us that months ago. And actually, he is very, very connected with Grace. And I remember when she had the argument with Kathy Yan, you know, she tried to suck him in as well and say, you told me this, blah, blah, blah. And he kind of backed away. So I remember all of that. So, yeah, these scoopers, I mean, as I say, it's like rolling a dice. It's like rolling a dice and hoping to get 6 and you get 3. And they throw enough shit on the wall, something's bound to stick, isn't it? Richie Moe, morning Mick, morning Richie, a very good morning to you from Cyprus. It is 2 minutes past 11. I started the stream a bit earlier than Build, I did get the title wrong. Instead of the Big Mouth Daily Live, it's Bib Mouth, unfortunately. But that's what happens when you're rushing about and you're trying to get the things done. So they're your headlines for today. But let's talk about this possibility that the Dark Knight universe would have been part of the DCEU, Nolan's Dark Knight universe. Bobcat, it's 4:02 a.m. for me. Well, I didn't go to sleep till 3:30 a.m. this morning. I couldn't sleep. So I started watching A Home and Away, an Australian soap on Prime Video. Really old episodes, and it was great to watch them and remember my youth watching them. It was great. Anyway, so obviously, if you look at it from the money perspective, the Dark Knight trilogy was one of the most successful DC franchises ever. And I mean, who doesn't want to add that to the DCEU? You would have had the Batman. Not only could it continue from the Dark Knight Rises, we could have had an explanation. Is Bale's Batman dead or alive? Did Alfred see something real or not? Bring him back in. Bring Bale in. Bring this kind of new Robin character, right, by Gordon Levitt. It would have been really, really awesome. It made absolute sense to bring the Dark Knight trilogy into the DCEU. The Dark Knight trilogy could have been the first part of the DCEU, but Nolan wouldn't allow that to happen. And that's a shame, because I think more people would have backed the DCEU if they thought the Dark Knight trilogy was canon. Rishi Mo, it's 9:03 here in Teesside. Ronnie George, yeah, it's true, mate. Yeah, but Keaton is staying as Batman after Flash. Yeah, I mean, it's common knowledge, actually, so he's not telling us anything we don't know. Bobcat, also the girl is one of those tough girls with a soft side, if you know what I mean. Oh, interesting, yeah, so, yeah, well, bit hard with those women, though, isn't it? You don't know what you're going to get. You could wake up on a Sunday morning and she could have, you know, don't know. We don't choose who we fall in love with, unfortunately, Bobcat? And so it is my opinion that the Dark Knight trilogy should have been canon in the DCEU. That would have been excellent. We could have had Easter eggs for the Dark Knight franchise in MOS as well, because then we wouldn't have needed a brand new Batman. And, you know, Affleck's fine and all, but, you know, we already had an older Batman in Bale. That's the funny thing about it. They made him old in The Dark Knight Rises, and they teased his death and everything. That's the problem as well. You know, Nolan didn't want to go into, is Bale's Batman still alive, and what's going to happen with, is it John Gordon-Levitt or whatever his bloody name is, right? But as a business, as an IP, saying, oh yeah, The Dark Knight Rises was the inception of the DCEU. You know, that makes sense to me. What a shame they didn't do it. And you blame Nolan. Why get involved with the DCEU, Chris? Why? Why bother? Your man had an idea for a Superman movie. What's the point if it doesn't jump off of the Dark Knight trilogy? It makes no sense. And these are upon the bad decisions that were going on in the inception of the DCEU. You talk about the Star Wars sequel trilogy, making it up as they went along. So did they. There was no plan during Man of Steel. Man of Steel originally was like a one-and-done movie. Then they decided to do a franchise. I mean, they were talking about franchises during the build-up to the release of Man of Steel, and they told us there were Easter eggs, which there was, making it a bigger world. But at the end of the day, if the inception of the DCEU is the Dark Knight trilogy, you know, you've got something special. It excites more of the audience. Man of Steel would have made more money if the public knew before they saw that film it was a continuation, part of the continuity of the Dark Knight trilogy. And just imagine that. So what a shame. What a shame. Bad decision. Bobcat, exactly. Keith Bale. Ronnie Dodge, I'm still in bed, lol, here in Kent. Awesome. Best place to be. Bobcat, Harley Quinn could have been someone carrying on the Joker's work. Exactly. Exactly. Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn could have known Heath Ledger's Joker, right? And I mean, and by the way, there's many versions of the Joker in the comics. So you don't need Heath Ledger, God rest his soul, right? You just cast a new Joker who's a new version of the Joker. Could have even been Phoenix, could have been Leto, could have been anyone. Emmanuel Cruz, Regina King is rumoured. That's right, she's rumoured to be on the shortlist to be directing the Tanashi Coates written, J.J. Abrams produced Superman film, and I've explained my reservations about her doing it because I don't think she's got great experience with VFX. Rishi Mo, the Dark Knight trilogy could still become canon if The Flash does something special. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, Barbara Machete, I read her quote from last year's Fandom, said there will be many, many DC characters and many, many alternate timelines, which means all these DC characters are from alternate timelines, from the multiverse, who will now become canon once Barry reboots the universe. So this is a very exciting film, isn't it? Bobcat, Man of Steel 2 is supposedly being talked about. Yeah, I've heard these rumours, but they're coming from people I just don't trust, unfortunately. If they came from more solid foundations, I mean, obviously, I believe J.J. Abrams is going to write and direct a Henry Cavill Superman film, which would, I don't know what they would do with it. It would be J.J. Abrams. Would he continue from what they did? It will be interesting. But I do believe J.J. is doing his own Superman movie. Forget what he says about not working with existing IPs, because Justice League Dark is an existing IP. It's part of the DC IP. So he's talking shit. Either that or they miscommunicated what the man said. So Man of Steel 2 or a kind of Superman movie with Henry Cavill, written and directed by J.J. Abrams. But I think something's coming there, and I'm very, very excited. I think we won't hear about many of Cavill's cameos as Superman, but I think the one we will hear about is Shazam. Shazam really needs people to know that Superman's going to be in that film. We saw how little the movie made. Now, it still made a big profit, but Shazam's like Ant-Man. Not many people are interested in Shazam. So tell the world Cavill's Superman's going to be in it. Oh, yeah, it will double its box office. You could be talking about 600, 700 million. And so, that's one movie that Warner Brothers need to tell the world that Henry Cavill's going to be in. Very important for the Shazam IP. So I think they will tease that. There was a rumor about Cavill being in Fury of the Gods. Then David F. Sandberg said, I don't want to tempt fate. Last time I nearly had Cavill, and because of scheduling problems, he couldn't do it. But I think if what we're going to be told about one film he's going to cameo in, Henry Cavill as Superman, it will be Shazam, because Shazam needs people to know that Superman is going to be in it. Ronnie Dodge, by who, Bobcat, mate? I saw some bullshit rumor on TikTok, but the person it was coming from, you can't trust them anyway. So I'm lucky to be able to know who's bullshitting, who's just saying things. I believe it's a big possibility. Of course I do. Henry Cavill hasn't announced he's not Superman. Warner Brothers haven't said he's not Superman. They would have to. Bobcat, if Supergirl in The Flash is connected to Brainiac and he escapes somehow from the multiverse or cracks it, he could be the main villain of the DCEU. Yes, I agree, Bobcat. I believe there will be a centric arc, and we have discussed this before, and I think you're right. Supergirl has got a big connection with Brainiac in the comics, as we know. And she was even going to be, Brainiac was going to be used in the original Superman 3 screenplay by Ilya Silkline, and Warner Brothers didn't like it. I mean, apparently Supergirl and Superman were going to fall in love and shit like that, so Warner Brothers said no. But I do see that happening, and I do suspect in this Flash movie they will launch an arc. Let's call it a DCEU Phase 2 arc, because Flashpoint and forwards is, I would even say the Suicide Squad is the beginning of Phase 2 of the DCEU. Richie Mo, Shazam being jammed in between Captain Marvel and Infinity War hurt its box office. For sure. Obviously, people wanted to go and see Captain Marvel in case they had any Endgame kind of things, and Infinity War. Of course, it was obviously they were happy for it to go in there. They kind of took a risk with it, but Shazam is the Ant-Man of the DCEU, so probably never going to make huge money. But if you tell the world Superman's going to be in it, oh yes. Kurt, Manchester United fan, Australia glazes out. What do you think Fast Furious 9 official trailer movie, The Rock's and John Cena from WWE, brother? I've never seen a Fast and a Furious movie, my friend. It's just a bunch of people driving cars and saying they're family. Apparently the new film, they're going into space. So a lot of people love those movies, and I'm happy those people are excited for it, and I hope you're excited for it too. And maybe eventually I'll try and get into those movies. It's fast cars, attractive guys, and attractive women, isn't it? And there's a Gal Gadot in those movies as well, I think. When I first heard Gal was cast as Wonder Woman, I heard she'd been in the Fast and the Furious. I just assumed she was holding up the boards and the Fast and the Furious was just racing, and I thought, oh my God, they're just putting anyone as Wonder Woman, and I lost my shit. But once I saw her picture, I said, wow, yes, please. Bobcat, I said it once and I'll say it again. I'm done with Marvel after Doctor Strange 2, unless it's really, really good. Probably won't be. Not watching the Eternals in theatres, probably. Yeah, I'm not interested in going to see the Eternals. I'll see it eventually. That film doesn't excite me at all. Kurt, Manchester United fan, Australia glazes out. Yeah, brother. Bobcat, probably. Richie Mo, the first Fast and the Furious is the best one. That's when the guy who's dead now, the actor, he was undercover, wasn't he? It's just not my thing. I just can't get into it. It's just a bunch of muscly guys and, you know, half attractive women. Anyway, could someone fill me in? Did Taika Waititi have a threesome with a couple of women, didn't it? It's that woman, it's the, what's her name? She was in the New Men in Black film and somebody else. Could someone fill me in this? Apparently, pictures were taken of him having a threesome with a singer, is it Rita Ora? And one of his actresses from his MCU movies. Could someone fill me in on that? Because I don't know the details. This is fucking hilarious. Taika Waititi was making fun of Todd Phillips when he said people can't make jokes anymore. And, you know, people can only make woke jokes. And he said, he funny. So it's really funny. Ronnie Dodge, maybe Fandom is going to announce something. Fandom, of course, will announce a lot of things, but I don't expect Fandom to be held up and nothing to be announced pre-Fandom. So I don't expect everything to be announced over at Fandom. I think they're going to spread out their announcements because it's a long time till Fandom. Yes, so apparently Taika Waititi had a threesome. Richie Moe, he was freeway kissing Tessa Thompson from Thor Ragnarok and Rita Ora, the singer lol. I mean, were they in bed together or was it just, what happened? I mean, what's funny, Richie and everyone actually, is these SJWs, you know, lecture us, ordinary working class people, about our conduct. And, you know, he's doing things like that. Now, personally, my toxic masculinity says, get in there, Taiki. Yeah, mate, give it some. But they're such hypocrites. Ash 790, that's his private life. Who cares? I tell you, I don't care, Ash 790. But you know why I do care? Because they lecture everyone else and they cancel people on their private lives. That's why. Richie Moe, just kissing. I mean, he's probably done them anyway, isn't he? I mean, good luck to the guy. I'm a toxic male. You know, at the end of the day, I would be doing the same thing. Why not? Big deal, Hollywood director, surrounded by beautiful women. Why not? Sam Dejan reviews. Are WB going to do Man of Steel 2 after the merger? I don't think the merger has any difference in that. Obviously, we've heard David Zaslav say that Superman is a priority, which is very exciting, seeing I'm a Superman fan. But I expect these things to happen anyway, with or without a merger. They have to happen. They have to happen. First of all, as I keep on saying, no one's announced the end of Henry Cavill. And let's be clear here. He would have to be in Flashpoint. Even if they erase his Superman after Barry reboots the universe, he would have to be there at the beginning of the film. There has to be some explanation. And they know this. No, we've done that. Richie Moe, they tell us how to act, but they act how they want and get applauded by the sheep. Exactly, Richie. Exactly, Richie. That's my point. I don't care if he's having a freeway with a sheep and a pig. I don't care. But I mean, listen, I do what I want. I don't give a shit. You know, the rules, the new rules by the new age gods, but these people are, you know, I don't care about morality. I don't care about anything. I enjoy myself, mate. I smoke, I drink, I have relations with women. They enjoy themselves. I enjoy myself. That's my life, baby. Right? I do what I want. I don't care what they call me a toxic male. I'm going to enjoy my life. These alt lefts are insane. But the hypocrisy in what they do is amazing. It really is. It's like Neil Gaiman. Everyone's attacking Neil Gaiman, right, for the casting of, forgot what it's called, right? Now, basically, most of the casting is accurate. That's how they are in his graphic novels. But there's been a misunderstanding because Constantine is female in his graphic novel, but everyone thinks it's a race bend. But the thing is, when you're getting Jenna Coleman, that should be kind of interesting. But again, he's casted on DNA. This is what they do. Bobcat, can anyone tell me any facts about Rutkin, the soccer team, or something to make this girl think I know something about them, lol? I've never heard of Rakuten. She supports the most unknown team. It sounds like a German team. Ronnie Dodge, there was photos of him kissing Rita Ora and Tessa Thompson. I mean, personally, I say good luck to them. But the thing is, Ronnie, the thing is with me, they're so busy lecturing us all on our behaviour. It's hilarious, right? So I like that he's getting some back. And I mean, Neil Gaiman's reaction to the controversy over the Sandman casting, he goes, I don't give a shit what you think, blah, 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 blah. And I quote tweeted and I said, do you know what, everyone, if you're not happy about this, don't watch it, don't support it, go back to your physical media, sod it. But Gaiman is rude. Gaiman does live in a bubble. He's another one who succeeded on DNA. He's a talented guy, don't get me wrong. Ronnie Dodge, it was outside in plain sight. They don't care, do they, mate? I mean, was it a joke? Did they do it on purpose? Was it just a gag? Bobcat, sorry, that's just what the jersey says. Apparently, they're actually called Barcelona. You haven't heard of Barcelona Football Club? Oh, my God. Yeah, they're not Rakuten. Yeah, they're Barcelona. Barcelona is one of the biggest club sites in the world, Ronnie. They don't even have a sponsor. They're so rich. And they basically, right, get a pen and paper. Aren't I good to you? Right, get a pen and paper. Barcelona play at the Nou Camp. Noucamp. Now, knowing that isn't going to get you laid or anything, but it helps. So they play at the Nou Camp. They're one of the biggest sides in the world. They've won about 2 or 3 Champions Leagues. They're one of the biggest Spanish clubs. Real Madrid is the joint biggest Spanish club. Richie Mo, imagine if it was Zack Snyder who was kissing 2 women at once. He will be called a misogynistic, I know. Oh, I know. Listen, none of them are angels. They're all doing drugs and fucking multiple women, right? They're all doing it. None of them are innocent. That's why I don't stand any of these people apart from their art and their films if I like them. But as people, nah. They're anything you think you've done, these people have done 20 times worse. Bobcat, gotcha. Thanks, mate. Welcome. But yeah, I just found that Taika Waititi thing quite amusing. And it's just funny that he's been caught with his pants down a little bit. I just assumed it was a gag he was doing. But he has gone awfully quiet, hasn't he? Because, of course, Thor Love and Thunder is an SJW movie. Of course. Jane is going to become Thor. They're going to fucking love shoving this down our throat. Bobcat just shows how little I know about soccer. Yeah, it's not really an American sport. I know some Americans love soccer and they've got their English football teams and their Spanish sides. But you're obviously in America. It's American football. It's basketball. It's funny when I hear people talking about American sport. I don't know what they're talking about. Hey, man, I got a touchdown, man. Or what? What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. I don't know. Baseball. Yeah, man. Ronnie Dodge, there's rumours that we could get our first trailer for No Way Home tomorrow as it's Tom Holland's birthday. Well, I don't think they would do it because it's his birthday, but I know there is a trailer coming soon, so it could be sometime next week because I know Sony have got their logos all Spider-Man-y and all that. So they're getting ready. I don't expect this trailer to give away Doctor Strange or Toby's Spider-Man or Andy's Spider-Man. We may see Doc Ock because he's been announced. And maybe we'll see Doctor Strange because that wouldn't be a big shock to see him. But the multiverse characters they're teasing, I don't expect us to see that. The first thing I expect to see is Tom Holland's Peter Parker on trial for murder, because that's what he's accused of in the end of the film. We may get Daredevil kind of revealed, because he could be the lawyer. That'd be interesting. Bobcat. I was watching a game with my friend, and he said he was rooting for some team and spat out facts, and I was confused. And he said to me what team I was looking forward to, and I said, the red one. Oh, dear. Yeah, that's obvious you don't know nothing. If someone says, the red one, I don't know what team. That could be Manchester United. That could be Liverpool. It could be their British sides, of course, their United Kingdom sides. Richie Mo, Toby and Andrew aren't in. The Spidey fans will lose their shit. Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Because some Spider-Man fans are not happy about this. So they don't want all this. They just want to embrace Tom Holland's Spider-Man, watered-down piece of shit Spider-Man. But a lot of fans are very excited because before these rumours, none of this was interesting to me. I wasn't ready to go and embrace another Tom Holland watered-down Spidey movie. But this has got me excited. Emmanuel Cruz, do you like West Ham? Manchester United is my team. I respect West Ham, but they're not my club. Bobcat, what country or area does Barcelona represent? The Catalan. The Catalan. Really? They've even got I think they've even got their own government there, separate to Spain. Catalonia. Catalonia. I mean, really, none of this stuff is going to help you with this girl, but it's good to understand what she's boring on about, of course. I remember being a teenager. I was in Stringfellows, and this girl was chatting me up, and she had a low-cut top on, and I'm thinking, I can't kiss you. You're going to kiss me or what? And in the end, thankfully, she kissed me because she was going on about her parents all fucking night. Bobcat, what country or area does Barcelona? Oh, no, I've already answered that question. Emmanuel Cruz, have you seen Cobra Kai? I've seen the first episode or two, and I really liked it. I just didn't get back to continuing watching it. Maybe one day, hey? But the success story of continuing the Karate Kid franchise is sensational. That's how you relaunch an iconic franchise. Bobcat, who represents El Salvador? That's where she's from. Kind of sad. She don't support her home country, lol. Who represents El Salvador? No idea. That's where she's from. Kind of sad. She don't support her home country, lol. No, she's just a glory girl, isn't she? Ronnie George, it breaks my heart that United haven't played amazing since Fergie retired. Yes, it's very disappointing, Ronnie. Unfortunately, our owners have appointed the wrong managers, and now we've got the worst manager. This is a manager who used to be an ex-player, a great player for us, and people don't see the wrongs in the guy. He's a half-decent manager. He's done okay. He's one of the best counter-attacking managers in the world right now, but he's got no plan B. He's a very negative manager, so when people say he's got United DNA, how can a defensive manager have United DNA? Of course, it's heartbreaking, Ronnie. It is. We need a world-class manager. Chelsea's manager was there for 5 fucking minutes, taking over from a club legend, by the way, and they've won the Champions League. But Marcus Rashford wants us to trust the fucking 100-year-old process. It's despicable. And all these fucking fan channels and experts backing Ollie, it's despicable. But Craig Burley did great the other day talking about this. Richie Mo, who won last night's match? Chelsea are the European champions. So basically, after being at the club for a few months, the new Chelsea manager has won the European Cup, the most coveted prize in domestic football. Amazing. Well, Ollie Solskjaer hasn't won one trophy yet. And by the way, he will never win any trophy at United. Ronnie Dodge, Chelsea Richie, yeah. They've done it. They got rid of a bad manager. They brought in a world-class manager. And these decisions come to fruition, don't they? So football's a bit depressing for me right now. Bobcat, all right, Mickey, it's almost 4:30. Better get to bed. Good night, chat. Good night, chat. Thanks for the help. Thanks for the help again. You're welcome. Ronnie Dodge, Chelsea Richie. I know, I read that. Ronnie Dodge. See you later, Bobcat. This message is held for review. Richie Mo, I was effed from work and fell asleep after your stream, Mick. Lol. Oh dear. Yeah, I didn't go to bed till 3:30 this morning. So I literally had about 3 hours sleep. Bobcat, see you, Ronnie Dodge. So I'm not working on much sleep, but I think I'm doing okay. 3 hours sleep. How can I look this good? It's amazing, isn't it? Bobcat, love the stream, Mickey. Thanks for doing them. Make sure to leave a like, guys. Thank you, Bobcat. Ronnie Dodge. I've been to Barcelona, as in the city, so lovely, but bloody hot, lol. Yeah. You imagine coming to Cyprus. Richie Mo. See you, Ronnie. Is Ronnie going? I'm confused now. I'm actually confused. I don't know who's coming, who's going, and I think I'm going to sneeze. I'm going to have to switch this aircon off. Oh, dear. Bobcat, all right, I'm going this time. Long night. Ronnie Dodge, I'm not going anywhere, Richie. It's Bobcat going. Richie Mo, I meant Bobcat, PMSL. That was weird, wasn't it? Yeah, I got confused there. Who's going, who's staying? Richie, sorry, Ronnie, lad. So, yeah, next week should see the trailer release, the first trailer teaser, if you like, of Spider-Man No Way Home. Emmanuel Cruz, are you excited for the Flash movie? Understatement of the century, Emmanuel. It's one of the films I'm really excited about because this is going to change the DCEU forever. We're going to have multiple timelines, different DC heroes from these timelines. I'm very excited. I want to see it now. Ronnie Dodge, that's all right. I'm like you, trying to get rid of me, lol. So, yeah, so I'm excited for Flash. That's the movie that is going to turn this universe on its head. And it's exactly what this franchise needs, by the way. It brings excitement instead of the negativity and toxicity. So, I mean, the Snyder cultists are still going on about WB getting rid of Flash this time, Speed Force and all that. Get over it, right? In the same breath, the special effects supervisor said he's been brought in by WB to do Flash, which means, and he said, they're going to connect the Snyder Cut effects to the Flash to, obviously, Flashpoint. So they've learned their lesson, right? So that narrative's not going to work for you. Richie Mo, did you say that there is a Snyder influence in the Flash? Basically, DJ, Zack Snyder's very own VFX supervisor who worked on the Snyder Cut, was approached by Andy and Barbara Machete. They showed him the script, and he said as soon as he saw this, he said before he saw the script, he was losing hope for the DCEU. Once he saw it, he had hope in the DCEU again. So for those people trying to, point a negative agenda to Flashpoint, someone who works with Zack and who's a friend of Zack's actually has given the Flash script the thumbs up. So he's working on Flashpoint. And yes, he said the effects will connect and the Speed Force from the Snyder Cut will connect to Flashpoint. So that's very exciting, Richie. Emmanuel Cruz, the Snyder Cut really helped Ezra's Flash catch momentum for his movie. I think so, yeah. I think so. I mean, a lot of people didn't like Ez's Flash in Justice League. I think that's not a false thing to say. And I think, yes, he's much better in the Snyder Cut and he worked a lot more. Rishi Mo, that's awesome. Where did he say that? Well, it's been repeated everywhere, but if you want to check out the DC Syndicate, which is a really brand new publication, and they don't miss a thing. So the DC Syndicate, it was posted yesterday, so you're going to have to go down their timeline a little bit. But yes, DJ, Zack Snyder's very own VFX supervisor, was losing hope in the DCEU until he saw the Flashpoint script. He's now the VFX supervisor for the Flash movie. Manuel Cruz, I think Grace Randolph had a video with him. Yeah, I think that's probably where it came from. Grace does get interviews. Obviously, Zack Snyder supporter. She interviews Zack, and Zack obviously puts her in charge. And by the way, Zack Snyder is looking forward to these films as well. By the way, he's not charged. He's not charged like a lot of his fans. Billy, Manchester United glazes out. Hello, Billy. Rishimo, thanks, Emmanuel. This is actually not a bad stream. People are talking. And so I spoke about this on Instagram today and a little bit on TikTok about how I see the DC universe kind of flourishing in the future. So as we know, Jason Keeler has said that they're diving deep into the multiverse in terms of games, films, TV shows, animation, and documentaries, by the way. So that's very exciting. Richie Mo, thanks, Manuel. Manuel Cruz, you're welcome, Richie. So they're really diving into this multiverse. Now, so Billy Manchester United fan glazes out. Do you want good news? I suppose. Yeah, tell me. I'm a bit scared now, but yeah, tell me. Anyway, yeah, go on, Billy. Give me some good news, man. You've seen a 6-foot woman who wants to have sex with me. Send her over here. Emmanuel Cruz, you should watch Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. It's just not my thing. It's just not my thing. It looks interesting. It's a spin-off from Riverdale. I'm actually a big Riverdale fan. I watched the first few seasons, but then I stopped watching it. And without Luke Perry, I don't know if I can go back to it now, because Luke Perry was a hero of mine. I met him a few times. It's very sad. I can't talk about Luke. His death was a shock to me. I'm honestly going to cry if I talk about Luke. So you just got me thinking of Riverdale there. Very sad. I looked up to him as a kid watching 90210, you see. So, yeah, wow. How sad was that? Billy Manchester United fan goes out. Me and Kurt, we got married in the 9th of March. Well, congratulations. I think you're being serious. If you're being serious, congratulations. That's the internet. So I'm going to take you as being serious. So I'm going to congratulate you and wish you many happy returns and all the success. Sam Reviews, when will we get Henry Cavill's Superman announcement? Whenever they want to do it, my friend. It could be a big DC fandom thing. Obviously there's only one film coming. I mean, the last DC film of the year, of course, is James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. Richie Mo, Zack is friends with the actors and people behind the scenes, and he wants success for all of them. So the people who want the DCEU to fail aren't true fans of Zack or DC. No, they don't understand, Richie. I'm talking about the future, but let me explain something to you. These people are passionate about Zack's Snyderverse, and I respect them, and some of them follow me and I follow them, and they're cool people. I don't want to be derogatory to anyone, but listen, they think by boycotts, they think by saying a line of negativity, twisting the narrative, saying things that are not true, saying things like, oh, they tried to get rid of the Speed Force, they didn't understand the Speed Force, WB don't get the Speed Force. They do now. That's why DJ's back in. They didn't, whatever was going on, but they do now. People are running the DCEU who weren't running the DCEU before, and Warner Brothers. So they think by spreading fake narratives and being toxic or negative about the central universe all day, that changes something. They think fans, mainstream audiences are going to read this and say, yeah, I'm boycotting this too. They're not. They couldn't even get Suck It WB to trend because people are not, the universal people who got Restore the Snyderverse to trend by 1.5 million have walked away now because they can see what's going on. So I'm just over you. All right. Kurt Manchester United fan, Australia Glazer. I did subscribe Chelsea channel. Tell me, welcome here, brother, last night. Right, okay. I'm not sure. Are you subscribed to the Chelsea channel? Tell me, welcome here, brother, last night. Right, okay. That doesn't really make sense, but I know you subscribe to the Chelsea channel, but I don't really understand the rest of it. Richie Mo, Zack is friends with the... No, I've read that. Emmanuel Cruz, do you watch The Boys? I watched about 4 episodes of The Boys. Again, enjoyed it. I really have unless something really gets into my soul, I can't embrace it, unfortunately. So it's cool and I like it. Ronnie Dodge, I was wondering how big is Iris's role in the Flash movie. This is an interesting thing. Now, in the animated Flashpoint Paradox, she hasn't got a big role, as we can see. So her role may be minimal. Beginning, we see her at the beginning and we see her at the end. Now, let's see how flourished their relationship will be. You know, are they still flirting? Have they even spoken? They didn't even speak in the Snyder Cut, did they? And Zack did it like they didn't grow up together like they do in the series, that they just met. So that's interesting. Ronnie Dodge, I was wondering how, no, I read that. Leroy Kong, we are not toxic. The Snyder haters are toxic. Leroy, do you listen when people talk? Do you actually listen? Listen. Ronnie Dodge, I was thinking this morning the Marvel Universe is running out of steam, while us, the DCEU fans, are about to go full steam ahead with our multiverse. Yeah, it's interesting with the MCU. As I said before, our slate seems more impressive than their slate. I mean, I think about James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. I think about the Batman. I think about Aquaman 2. I think of Shazam, Fury of the Gods. I think about Black Adam. It's a very impressive slate. We're getting moving finally we've actually got a proper slate. So that is true, Ronnie. There's an exciting future. So yeah, the future, talking of the future, I've been tempted to talk about the future after Flashpoint. And it's a very interesting future on HBO Max, cinematically. And I think we're going to go, whatever happened, basically, the Flash movie is the setup for the future. So the characters that you see will play a big part in the future. So by rebooting the universe, and I think it's interesting that Barbara said kind of rebooting everything, resetting everything. What does kind of mean? That's interesting. That was an interesting choice of words, wasn't it? So we'll have to wait and see. But I think these characters from multiple timelines are definitely going to be canon in the DCEU. And it's just interesting what this means for the films we've already seen. If we're resetting the universe, what does it mean for these films? Because she said nothing will be forgotten, which is very interesting. So I'm not quite sure. I'm quite happy. Listen, if they are going to reset the universe, which means the Snyder movies are not canon, if it means that the other movies like Wonder Woman 84 and Birds of Prey are no longer canon, I'll take the hit, thank you very much. Because I've still got Man of Steel, I've still got BVS to watch, and I've still got Zack Snyder's Justice League to watch. So it doesn't matter to me. They're still there. I can enjoy them. And they were the inception of this franchise. But if we can get rid of Birds of Prey and Wonder Woman 84 from the canon and reset the universe, I think that's the best thing to do. And that's why I think Walter didn't care what they did with Birds of Prey or Wonder Woman 84. Richie Leroy, I've fought since day one for the Snyder Cut and we won, but WB is moving on, so we have to as well. It's not good what happened, but that's Hollywood. Exactly, Richie. Ronnie Dodge, I'm balanced. I like Zack Snyder, but for me, it's time to be excited for those projects. So I'm not toxic, even though Snyder has made me bang my head on a wall, lol. Yeah, I think that's the attitude from a lot of people now. Leroy Kong, the multiverse can work with the Snyderverse. It can. It can. That's the truest thing you've ever said. But it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, unfortunately. Whatever happened behind the scenes between Snyder and the studio, they fell out. They fell out again. They fell out again. They fell out during, while he was there. And then when he was developing the Snyder Cut to put it together, they fell out again. These people can't get on. So they're the studio. They own the DC IP. They can do what they want. Ikwe Ake. Morning, bruv. We all are excited about the Snyderverse. Please, God, let it happen. Morning, Big Mouth. Where weekend is awesome once again because of you. Thank you very much, Ikwen, and welcome to the stream, and thank you for joining. Richie Mo. Yeah, it can, and they might make it happen, but not to carry on, just to be an Easter egg sort of thing. Yeah, I think so. I think they're not going to be toxic. They're not just going to delete it. As Barbara said, we're rebooting, but nothing's going to get forgotten. And I think that's where they stand. They're not going to bite their noses off to spite their faces like certain people have. Marcus Walker, an animated sequel with the art style of Into the Spider-Verse would be amazing. And I live in the hope something like that could happen. Leroy Kong, again, the Hamadaverse will not work. Well, we're going to see, because the first chapter of the new Hamadaverse, if you like, is James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. He brought him off the naughty step when he was sacked from Disney. This is the film. If this film succeeds, Leroy, then the beginning of the Hamadaverse is succeeding. And the Batman's most probably going to succeed, so he will continue succeeding. Then there's Flashpoint. We cross our fingers. That's a great movie. Black Adam, Aquaman 2, Shazam! Fury of the Gods, the Superman movie. Potentially, these could all be great movies. And until you've experienced them, how do you know they're not going to be any good? I know that's what you want. You want them to fail. You don't want them to be any good. But I said this before to you. You can't always get what you want. You had 3 great movies, but actually the Snyderverse, I include in the Snyderverse Man of Steel, BVS, Suicide Squad, and Wonder Woman. They're all the Snyderverse as far as I'm concerned. After that, it's not. But those films, and obviously Justice League as well, his Justice League. So you literally got Man of Steel, BVS, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, and Zack Snyder's Justice League. 5 movies that are all, as far as I'm concerned, part of the Snyderverse. And after that, it's from after his Justice League, it's the Hamadaverse. Ronnie Dodge, DC worked without Snyderverse before, and it will be carry on without it. As well, I mean, Ezra, Gal, Jason will be carrying on. Regimo, it's not Hamada's universe really, because he isn't the creative force behind it. He just green lights them and provides the cash. Lots of people make a movie, not one person. Right. Let me explain something to you, Richie, right? You're right. All those creatives are making the movie. He makes the decisions. He employs the creatives because he knows this creative will do this kind of thing. I'll bring him in. But he is the showrunner. Now, even though the directors, and there'll be writers, but he's the showrunner. He's the one who will decide if or not we will have this big phase 2 arc, which we can't. Now, Bobcat was talking about Brainiac, breaking the multiverse open and breaking out the multiverse. That could be a thing as well. So he's the one setting these things up. But of course, it takes lots of people to make these things. But he's the leader. He is the president of DC Film. He's the one bringing in the directors and the creatives and the ideas, right? Flashpoint, his idea, right? Flashpoint, the rebooting of the universe, that's him. The universe is going down the direction he wants it to go. Leroy Cohn, Walter Hamada is not involved with Black Adam. Yes, he is. Sorry to disappoint you. You got mistaken information there. Marcus Walker, I don't see how the Hamadaverse can fail, to be honest. These are all huge event movies with mainstream appeal. That's right, Marcus, and they're bigger event movies than what the MCU are putting out. I mean, Doctor Strange 2 sounds awesome, and, No Way Home sounds awesome, but apart from that, it's not that interesting. Loki sounds interesting. Sam Reeves, after Snyder left, it hasn't been the same. None of the movies lead nowhere. Right. Aquaman was its own movie. Shazam was its own movie, but there was a hint to Black Adam, and of course we had post-credit scenes. But you're right. And Wonder Woman 84 is its own movie, but that's because they were planning rebooting the universe and doing Flashpoint and making it more interconnected. So they allowed these creatives just to, basically, Aquaman is a filler movie, Shazam is a filler movie, Birds of Prey is a filler movie, and Wonder Woman 84, they're just filler movies while they were making their longer plans. And Marcus Walker, he's the head of DC. He's involved with everything DC, exactly. He's making the big decisions. Emmanuel Cruz, are you excited for Batgirl? Absolutely, can't wait. Emmanuel Cruz, Bad Boys 4 Life directors are directing. Yes, I'm very excited for that, Emmanuel. It should be a great movie. Leroy Kong, Walter Hamada will fail. Richie Mo, Loki has a Doctor Who feel to me. Yes, it's interesting, definitely. I'm a big Doctor Who fan, by the way, Richie, very big. Sam Dejan reviews we will get Static Shock news at DC Fandom. Yeah, it's not something I'm that interested in, but I want to check it out and see what it's all about. Big Doctor Who fan. Peter Davison was my first Doctor. Then I quit after Davison. I came back for Doctor Who, the movie with Paul McGann. Loved it. Then Christopher Eccleston. What a shame he only did one season. Tennant. Smith was fantastic after I got used to him. Was devastated he left. Capaldi, I'm kind of liking a lot more now than I did while he was actually active on the show. And what's going on now, I don't know. It's, the first season was very watered down and standalone, and it was, the production values were great. But season 12 actually in the arc actually really, really excited me. And, the changing of the canon didn't trigger me. I'm interested to see where he's going with this. Ronnie Dodge saying the Hamadaverse won't work. Come back November next year once The Flash is out and say that again. I'm not being rude, just being truthful. I'm just waiting till all these trailers come out. Just wait till these trailers come out. I think we may even get a teaser for the Batman before fandom, which will be very exciting. We may even get one more Suicide Squad trailer. I think there was a time when I believed the Snyderverse could be restored. By looking at it now, I don't know. They're gonna reboot the universe. It's as simple as that. That's not changing. Marcus Walker, Capaldi was fantastic, but I think he was really let down by the quality of his episodes, although season 10 was great. Yeah, well, this is what I feel about Capaldi. His very first episode was fantastic, and he was rude, and he was like Dr. Gregory House, and he was awesome. Then Moffat watered him down and made it the Clara show. But going back to it now, I can appreciate it a lot more. Moffat is like the Snyder of Doctor Who. He does things very differently and as he pleases, and he's very out there. But the Moffat era was at least trying to do something kind of spectacular. That's what I'll say about that. I think what Doctor Who needs now is this little club of these very wealthy, talented fans to be smashed with a sledgehammer, get rid of them and bring in new people, not from the same, Russell T Davies, Stephen Moffat, Chris Chibnall, they're all mates. They all went to college and university together. They're Doctor Who fans, talented Doctor Who fans. We need to bring fresh blood and fresh meat creatively into Doctor Who. But of course, the BBC's inclusion strategy is a big problem for Doctor Who as well. So, because it's inclusion and representation first before entertainment and creativity, that's the industry we're looking at now. Rishimo, Leroy, we won't know how the new DC movies will do, but there's no point being negative about it. Well, it's because he wants it to fail. He only thinks about Snyder. He doesn't care. It's not really DC fandom, is it? Zack Snyder has his fandom. He's like a Beatle or something, isn't he? He's like a member of the Beatles or Elvis Presley. No director has got this kind of, and he uses it, and he uses it for his advantage, and he loves it. "10 minutes, everyone. It's been a great stream. Obviously, I'm not feeling my best 3 hours sleep, but I think I've done very well. I think we'll probably go for about 1 hour, 20 minutes by the time this stream's finished. So I'm very proud of myself. Seeing I didn't get much sleep, got up my dad, breakfast, run around, got on here, done TikTok videos, done Instagram videos, done Snapchat videos. I'm everywhere. A Snapchat, you wouldn't be interested in my Snapchat if anyone's going to ask, because it's really just for sexting. It's where all the women come and find me. So I'm just being honest. Look, I'm an honest guy. I'm just being honest here, right? But the other stuff, Mad Mickey's World is Instagram. So I'm literally just dancing and messing around on that one and doing free videos in the morning talking about geek stuff. And I do a story. Obviously, TikTok, I mess about on that. I duet, I stitch and all that. So it's fun. Emmanuel Cruz, you got TikTok. Yes, I have. Having a good time on it as well. If I go on it now, though, my internet will go crap. My internet's probably crap anyway, but my internet's very, very bad. I literally have to do these streams while my father's not watching, like smart TV, because it drains the internet. My internet's so bad. And I've got an Ethernet cable. But yes, I have got, it's Big Mouth something. I think it might be Big Mouth kind of takeaway 1, I think. Rishimo, I love Snyder's DC and his Justice League. It's my favourite DC movie ever. But we can't be unrealistic, especially after the Suck It Warner Brothers comments. Yeah, Richie, he said that. I think he was joking. It was just a gag, and I'm sure Warner Brothers get it anyway. But he knows. They've already told him there's no way back anyway. He knows anyway. Even if he never said that, there's no way back. Ronnie Dodge, see you later, guys. See you later, Ronnie. See you tonight, maybe. Emmanuel Cruz, you should search up this user, Mousehouse PRD. They make DC edits. I will check them out. Thank you very much. Mousehouse PRD. There is a lot of DC content on TikTok, by the way. Great stuff. I follow people who do Smallville videos. I stitch and duet them. Star Wars. I have a good Knight Rider. I love having a look at Knight Rider videos as well. Dallas, all those soaps. I love the soaps. Well, I used to love the soaps. I haven't watched soaps for years. So I'm not actually just a DC geek. I'm interested in all types of storytelling. Obviously, I write my own plays and I perform them here in Cyprus as well. So I did drama school. I've been to film school. So my interests are really expansive. So like a lot of people on the internet, just go on about superheroes and Snyder all day. That's not me. I have a variety of interests in entertainment and storytelling and artistic expression. Rishimo, yeah, it was a joke, but it's still got truth to it, I think. Yes, of course, but I don't think, look, if a studio thought they could make money out of him, they wouldn't care about that anyway. Rishimo, Dallas and Dynasty, lol, we're showing our age, Mickey lad. I tell you what, I'm 48 years old, but I don't mind showing my age because Dallas and Dynasty, I mean, you know what? There should have been a JR and Alexis crossover. That would have been fucking awesome. And I followed the brand new series of Dallas for 3 seasons. I was part of the Save Dallas campaign as well. I was doing videos on an old channel for that. Patrick Duffy and Linda Gray really tried hard to save that show. It was a shame. But the way JR died in that new series was brilliant. What a great kind of arc that character had. And Larry was just a great guy. I used to love Dallas and Dynasty, Knots Landing, Falcon Crest, the Colbys. Charlton Heston in a fucking soap. Imagine that. Marcus Walker, some Snyder diehards are trying to get Ella Purnell to play Batgirl, lol. These people have no variety. Look, Elle's great. Solid enough actor. I don't think she's great, by the way. But her character really wound me up in the film, and I was wound up that she survived. So that's why I have no interest now with... Look, let me explain to you how I feel about Army of the Dead. You know, like when we were younger, we used to go into HMV and Our Price and just buy random films. We just have a look at these shelves and say, what should I buy today? On my day off from work, I used to go in there, have a look at videos, buy the famous stuff that I liked, and I'd buy one random film. I'd go home, watch it, say, yeah, that's okay, and shove it at the back of my cupboard. That's what Army of the Dead is. It's okay, but I'll never watch it again. It's not a classic film. It's made beautifully. He makes it look beautifully. But it didn't make a huge impression on me, if I'm honest. So Ella Purnell as Batgirl is never going to happen. Never. But I'm looking forward to see what they do with Batgirl. That'll be interesting. Would they go for a really young actor? Someone in their 20s? Someone, late 20s? Rishimo, bloody hell, Our Price. Haven't heard about that shop for years. Our Price. Used to love Our Price. HMV. I used to go in HMV every Tuesday when I was off. I used to... Well, first it was VHS, then it was DVDs, then it was Blu-rays, wasn't it? But I used to buy some out there movies and just watch them and then chuck them in my cupboard. So that's what Army of the Dead is to me. It's just a random movie that's okay, but it isn't, you know, he knows that. He knows that. Rishi Mo, still got HMV, that's right, still around. We fought for HMV, they nearly closed down, didn't they, a few years back? It's just used to be great to go to Blockbuster or Our Price or whatever, right? Go in and sit there for hours or stand there for hours going through all the VHSs or the DVDs or whatever. I used to bore the shit out of my mates. My mates literally would stand there while I go through every film. And they used to have the TVs on or music playing. You could see the films playing. It was cool. I remember when everyone had the Phantom Menace playing everywhere. We had in Toy Stack, the toy shop I used to manage. We used to have I tell you what, the Phantom Menace. You know, the merch for the Phantom Menace was huge. So, guys, I'm going to wrap it up for not today, for this morning. I'll be back tonight, 6 p.m. around that time, UK time. You know, I'm always going to be late, but I'll be there eventually. So around 6 p.m. UK time for Big Mouth Live, and who knows what might drop. I always say that, and nothing drops. But maybe today we'll get that big Henry Cavill news. We'll get, you know, something big, or a tease for Supergirl in Flashpoint or something. Let's hope so. So until then, until tonight, 6 p.m. UK time, I'm off to put my roast chicken on. So see you later. Rishi Mo, I see you tonight, brother. Thank you, Rishi Mo. Thank you for the support. I will see you tonight around 6 p.m. UK time. I must put that roast on. See you later. Follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad as well. I have a bit of a laugh all throughout the day on there. Until then, goodbye.